talking about his submission, The Relay. Hi, Cameron.
Hello, Benin. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
Very, very good. I mean, I think we've battled load shedding and all sorts of power and connectivity issues, but I mean, we're here now, so let's make this happen.
Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about your short, The Relay.
All right, so the relay started as a story. I've said this before at an event, but it started as a story that kind of was started by an emotional turmoil in a relationship, which was romantic, I'll say. But what it led to is me kind of not being like, okay, let me do the classic thing of taking this pain and making it into like a movie. Let me take that same pain and turn it into something that's got to do with love. And I don't have a brother. And the film is a young man called Cal who loses his young brother in a tragic accident. And in the world they exist in, there's a system called the relay, which pretty much in a sci-fi fiction sense is a system that can deconstruct light and the way that it is reflected on objects. It allows us to play back history. So if you think about this light right now that is on my face, if this is my face recording that, like I mean reflecting it, there should be a way in a hypothetical sense to rewind history by viewing the patterns of light and how they bounced off and interacted with objects. And that's exactly what happens in this film. And a lot of people they'll say, not to give any spoilers, but there's a portal that appears in the film, and a lot of people say, how did Cal walk through that portal? The truth is that Cal exists in a world where technology is much more advanced than it is in our world. And that's the sci-fi concept that a lot of people have to wrap their head around, that I would encourage when people go watch this movie. So, in kind of the same vein as like the three Stooges, he's kind of confronted by this ethereal being called Electra, which is pretty much an archive and an AI intelligence of the system called the relay. And when Cal meets her, she says that she's aware of what has happened to him, and she would like.
Don't give us too much. Don't give us too much.
I won't. Okay. I'm just excited. I'm excited.
I can see that, and I'm like, yeah, we want people to still go and watch it and be like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah. Okay. I got you, Bernie. I see you.
So, but continue. We're talking about your
Electra
character.
Yes, Electra, played by Michaela Russell, who unfortunately couldn't be with us now, but she's absolutely lovely. And I remember literally when I wrote the relay, I wrote these characters with certain, and one of them was Michaela from the outset. So I think at the time then, as I was, and we kind of just, took our, Carrie Fisher once said this thing that Meryl Streep repeated, which is take your broken hearts and make it art. Not to be melodramatic, but that's pretty much kind of where we found ourselves in this position. So she plays Electra, this ethereal AI that kind of observes and runs the relay. And I play Kyle, and then a very young and talented individual called Kate Barton plays the role of Emmett, Kyle's younger brother. And also a very South African legend, Johnny Pina, plays this role of a guy called Nomad. So I'm not going to say any much because you're right. I'm excited and my things run away. But the bottom is, when you're talking about love, and this has been a theme explored countless times in films. What is the ultimate display of love? And that's what this movie explores. So not can you change your past, but if you could change your past, what could change it? And is it a sci-fi system? Is it completely? Yeah. Like do we have to go to our past to change our past? Or can we reconcile our past within ourselves? And that's the question Electra asks herself with Kyle. And that's exactly what Kyle discovers and works out in this film.
Okay, very, very interesting. And I know that, especially for sci-fi fans, when they see it, they're gonna love it. So tell me, let's talk a little bit about you. Have you been doing this for a long time?
Oh yeah. So from an acting perspective,
young. You said, "Oh yeah," like you've been doing it for like 50 years. And what does that mean? You always said, "Oh yeah." How long have you been doing this?
Okay, so I am young, relatively speaking. I'm still considered a young buck, but I've been doing professional acting for about 10 years, acting training since I was about second grade. So quite a
That is a long
journey.
time.
Yeah, I'd say so. And I've been doing producing for about, what year are we in? 2020, so 5 years now, professionally. Directing for about 6, writing for. So it all started. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say on the directing, on the production and directing. Is this? So this, I assume this is not your first short, because you were not. Were you in the festival last year? You were not in the SA Indie. Okay, so this is your first year with us.
I am, and I'm so stoked as well. Like, it's been so amazing, and I think more so just the professional way that it's been run, the international flavor is all that I'm about, and seeing that portrayed from SA has been really, really beautiful to me. So I started.
Thank you. That's really good to hear. Like James Williamson. I always say his name. I was gonna kick my butt. James is awesome. James is awesome. He's been doing such an amazing job, and Ryan Kruger as well. Like, the team's really been, it's coming from a place of passion, so everything's just been flowing so naturally. So I'm very proud of everything that they're doing as well. So thank you.
Yeah.
And carry on. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was just saying that. So this is. I once read that Quentin Tarantino produced 3 things, shorts and little snippets before he did his first major feature. And yet he still counts Reservoir Dogs as like the first film by Quentin Tarantino. And that's exactly, I suppose, the same thing here. I remember the first time I produced and directed something was back in 2015. And I had this filmmaker knowledge book. And I opened it to a quote that said, "Nobody knows anything." And I left it there and I said, everybody, actor, crew, cast, let's all come and read this, because this is what we're doing today. We're learning, we're finding our feet. And the relay for me is a huge exciting thing that I brought as a filmmaker, because it was the first time that I was able to show it to the world. You know what I mean? So I've done a good few things before, but they're only getting bigger and bigger and better and more professionally done as you learn. You should never stop learning, no matter who you are, no matter what.
Definitely. Okay, so this is your baby. So this is your special project. What was the most exciting part about shooting this?
There is one part that I will say, but I can't say it because it might give away a spoiler. I think the most exciting part about shooting this is learning that starting the motion that you can start to trust. You can trust everybody on set. You should be in a position where you trust everybody on set, and allowing that creative license. I mean, I always get like ripped because I did a lot of roles. I filled a lot of roles in this film, and the next film that we got, and we're actually going into production in 2 weeks. I'm wearing one hat, which is acting. But I've written and stuff, but that's my primary port of call. I love that. I love seeing how things flow, and there's an ebb and flow to the way people add their own creativity and artistry to a project. I never think that someone should grip it with an iron fist when it's creative. You should always have a direction, and like a gentle hand that guides that direction. But you should never like grip it and be like, I want to take it here, unless you're doing, solely, strictly speaking, like directors. I think it's very important for a director to be hands-on.
I think you touched on a really good point. Like in this particular film, you were wearing many hats, and I guess with short films, that is something that we've noticed. That there are quite a few independent directors that will do that, because a lot of them are actors that want to now branch into the production side of things. What advice would you give to other actors or independent directors that may be looking at doing the same thing? Directing, producing, and acting in the same short film or feature or whatever they're doing.
As soon as you can, start building a good team around you. As soon as you can. Never assume, and this is the second thing that I think really excited me about this project, is allowing yourself to make mistakes and face challenges. So for example, there's one shot, and you can't see it, thankfully, in the film, but there's a shot of a person walking in the background. We needed to get rid of that. Like, that's not okay for the shot. That wasn't okay for the scene. And it's like, how do we do that? So I sat with the editor, and then we're working out the different ways of doing it. Like, do you blur it out? Do you, and this is what we ended up doing, is chopping out a section of the frame and then masking that onto the edited version so that it looks like it's on a loop and you actually can't see this individual walking in the background, And there were several different challenges like that. Some like preliminary stunt without giving anything away. And just things that you toy with and you play with. And so my advice to upcoming people would literally be, start building a team and allow yourself to make mistakes, because you are going to, and you should always be going to. There's no such thing as a perfect thing.
I meant, let me rephrase. I mean, that's solid advice from a production. I meant in terms of someone who is doing so many things, directing and acting. Oh. That's what I meant, because that's different. Because I haven't actually interviewed anyone who had all of those, or maybe I haven't. We never actually just touched in on that. But I mean, just from the point of, you don't get to just focus on your acting, because you got your director's mind, and then you got because you directed, produced, and you acted in this film.
Yeah.
Yes, so there was so many things. I mean, each of those roles are so challenging anyway. Just on their own, they're so challenging. So, how did you keep it all together?
Sure. Passion. And passion, I learned recently, is defined as the willingness to suffer for something. That's what makes someone passionate, is if you're willing to suffer for something. So,
wow, I've never heard that. I like that.
Yeah, that's why they call it like the passion of the Christ, or if you're passionate about something, you're willing to put in a lot of work, So that's why when someone says, I'm passionate, employers like it because it's like, oh, this person's willing to in a way, suffer for a good result, which is crazy, hey? So it's a wild concept. We don't associate the two often. If you're passionate in love, you're willing to be hurt by the other person. And that's exactly what I think happened with this project. Is I was willing to know that when you do all of these things at that early stage, it's okay to be doing that at that early stage. But at that early stage, I knew that I was gonna be guided and have to go with my guts and my instincts. When I'm on camera, I literally just set up the shot, so I have to go there and just throw myself into whatever this character's feeling. Without second guessing it. I just had to do it. When I first went through the edits, it's the same thing. You just got to go, okay, cool, that's the shot, that's not the shot, that's the shot, that's not the shot. So you got to rely on the stuff that you have to have a base and a foundation to lean back on, but you got to rely on passion. And I think that goes for, I learned that in acting, and I still apply it to this day. So
okay, awesome. Can we expect some stuff from you next year?
Absolutely. There's a little, I am tempted to tell you a lot about this project, but this is perhaps, there is an amazing team of people that have been assembled. I'd say comparable to the Avengers, but that's just me. South African Avengers, literally.
I'm a big Avengers fan, so yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm Iron Man, so Bernini, let's make some magic happen sometime. I don't mind.
Okay. But so you already started working on something, so that's really exciting. That's good. Well, so how do you feel about your experience with the South African Independent Film Festival so far? I know you said that you were very impressed with the job, but just personally as an independent person that's got their film into the festival, are you happy? Do you feel it's important, these type of festivals?
Absolutely. You know what? Personally, and this is me, I think this is one of the coolest festivals in SA. Like when you're looking for, and even with the relay, I'm going through the different festivals that you can submit, and obviously you want to submit to there's 5 big ones that you want to submit to, and you learn about the different mechanisms and ways to get into those different stories and the networks that you have to build. But with this one, it's the first time in SA I've felt not only genuinely appreciated as an artist, and I see that in other people as well, but it has allowed me insight into other people like me. And that's something that I find incredibly beautiful and indispensable, and also severely lacking in our context. We either gravitate towards one of two things. We either think that, if this is like the golden like stage, or we ourselves. And I think the thing that I've enjoyed the most about the SAIFF festival is that it's authentic, and that's something that needs to be sought after. And I've really appreciated and enjoyed about it, and seeing other
Thank you.
people's work.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. That's so good to hear because that's our goal right there. So thank you. And thank you for your submission. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah.
So everybody, we've still got a few days left of the festival. Go ahead and check out Cameron Scott's relay.
Now for 40 grand. Well, a whole set of really cool films as well.
Yeah, there's just so much great content. But yeah,
Yeah.
well, I've got to go. So thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and yeah, we look forward to seeing your work next year.
Thank you so much.
Okay, good luck. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.